Welcome back to episode 2 of the Road to Valencia Marathon series. So we are now 8 weeks away from the big day, from the big dance. Stay tuned to see how I get on this week. Monday's run was an easy run of just over an hour on these very same trails on the way to Conkers. So on Monday I was joined by an athlete I've recently started coaching called Sam. So he's got real good potential. His background is he's run for about 18 months and he's recently ran a 2:57 marathon. So he's done all this sort of on off his own back, whatever resources he could scramble off the internet, and he's come for a bit more structured guidance and that feedback with the coaching. So I'm really looking forward to working with Sam. Had a good run, and it's good to know an athlete's background, what makes them tick when you're designing for training. I don't believe that it can be fully done sort of online and by message or just by a plan. So it was really good to catch up with Sam, get to know him a bit better, and still get both our easy runs in together. If you are interested in following his progress over the next few months, he has an Instagram page, Sam Bowring Run, and I'll also be putting updates on my coaching page of bassruncoaching. So this week has been tough outside of running, and I couldn't make my Tuesday session, so a bit disappointed to have to swap this out. And the next slot really was to do this on a Thursday, as I was running with Sam on Wednesday. So I ran Wednesday. I took delivery of my new treadmill, so it was good to get a little 5k on there as it was delivered, to test it early in the day. And then I ran at Trent Bridge with Sam, was about 7.5 miles at 7:45 kind of pace, so still quite an easy run there. For my quality session this week, I decided to mix it up a little bit on Thursday. So typically my midweek session, I've been targeting more of a high-end speed, something between sort of 1 to 4 minutes of effort, which is really focused on, to be honest, sharpening and more like the 5k, 10k kind of distances. But with marathon training now fully underway, I thought it was a good chance to get into a little bit of a longer effort. So I did 6 lots of 5 minutes. So with doing more volume and a longer rep, I had to sacrifice on the pace, and I decided to say that I'll run at what is my target marathon pace, which ideally for sort of a 5-minute rep, it's probably going to be a bit too easy. I'd like to be doing marathon pace at more like 10, 15, 20-minute intervals within my long run. But at this stage, a session on a Thursday morning, getting straight out of bed to do, and when I'd not done a session that week, I thought was quite a nice way of breaking back into that session for the week, and it went pretty well. I felt comfortable doing it, felt strong at that 6:45 to 6:50 pace, as I should have done really. And yeah, good little session on Thursday morning. So Friday for me was a planned run day. I usually run easy on a Friday, just try and get a bit of easy mileage in, but it wasn't the case this week. Unfortunately, I missed every slot that I could have done to go for a run on Friday, but I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I've still turned up for most of my training this week, and here we are at the start of parkrun at Conkers, so let's see how this goes.
And we're away at parkrun, and somehow I found myself in 3rd position at the first corner, a little bit too high, a little bit too ambitious for what I was trying to achieve this morning, which for me was a 20-minute 5k. Here I am getting passed by my first clubmate Chris Pearson, who he finished in a time of somewhere in the 18 minutes, so I knew that I was never going to be able to run with him for very long today. The course then takes a bit of a right-hand bend and up a slight hill into the first mile. So the next clip, I'm somewhere down that first mile. Once you've reached the top of the hill, it is a very gradual descent down here. So it's an old disused railway line, and this is the end of the first mile. Still, we've got a little bit more of a descent before Cheeky Hill. So Cheeky Hill is usually what throws my rhythm off of a parkrun. I've just come up Cheeky Hill here, and I'm following my clubmate Mark in the white vest. So Mark was very close to me on the first mile. We ran that mainly together, and then he did then pull off into the distance. I do then get passed by another club mate, Shane, in the red. So Shane actually finished just in front of our little group here. So we had Chris in the distance, we then had Shane, we then had Steve and Mark, and it formed about 5 of our South Derbyshire teammates all in a row, which was quite nice. So here I am on the second mile, so just coming towards the end of the second mile. You can see Shane in the red vest in the distance, Mark in the white vest, and I'm just about to get passed by Steve. So Steve's another one of our club mates, and he did then catch the group up. So this is just coming down the end of that second mile as we go back onto the main trail of Conkers. So I find this bit really tough of parkrun, that you've got a nice gradual downhill here, but then you're going back onto the main trail. You'll see everyone pass on the other side, but this is ever so slightly uphill for the whole mile. Really do struggle on this bit. So it was good timing to see Robbie at this point. He picked up the GoPro, got a few shots on there, and did encourage me on the last sort of half a mile to go after this. I reckon I'm somewhere on that third mile, and I always do find this a bit of a struggle going back up the path. So this is the turn now that you're heading back onto where you've come up the hill for the start of the park run, and you always know that you're very close to the finish here. There's probably only a minute or two to go left of effort. Once you turn this corner, it's a whole downhill. We turn right under the bridge and then back into the finish line. So apologies for my shaky camera skills on this bit. I am trying to put a little bit of effort in. I do get hampered a little bit by this pedestrian here, but we don't have total right of way of the paths, and that's always going to be an issue at a park run. So we do then turn a left into the finishing straight, and my time is in the high 90 minutes here. I'm just really pushing to see if I can get under that 20 minutes.
So I'm still awaiting the official results, as I just timed it on my watch, but I think I might have done it, you know. So going into this year, I've always, early on in the year, said I'm going to run a sub 20 at Conkers, and it's never quite materialised. So I feel like I've been sort of selling everyone short, really. Before every run I go to Conkers, oh, let's see if we'll get close to 20 minutes this week, and for whatever reason I've either gone out too quick, something's happened, I've not quite done it. But today, 19:57 I think on my watch, so still awaiting that official confirmation. But
the man got sub 20. Boom.
The man got, what did you get, Mark?
6:20 pace. In a minute we got 19:33.
Brilliant, Mark.
Boom.
Well done. It's a big goal to really tick off. Shows that I'm in a decent bit of fitness, doing under 20 on a more difficult park run than the ones I've been running low 19 minutes at recently. So really good, really pleased with that. It was helped by running with a few club mates. So Robbie was meeting me down there. He jogged in the last little bit with me, giving me a bit of encouragement going up the hill as I was sort of fading away on that last mile. And it was good to run with Mark for the first mile, and I got slowly overtook by Mark, then by Shane, and then by Steve from my club too. So it was really motivating to run with people of a similar ability. It's pushed me along a bit. I think that's what I've been missing on some of these sub 20 attempts. I've been running on my own and sort of give up, so it was good to keep going this morning and get that ticked off.
I would have loved to have told you all about my long run that I got planned on Sunday, as I wanted to do 20 miles this week, and it was the step up from doing 18 a couple of weeks ago, but I will have to shelve that plan until next week, as I didn't go out on Sunday for whatever reason. I just didn't manage it this week, and rather than dwell on that and sort of feel guilty about not going, it's important to move on. Next week is a new week, and try and tick off the week as best as I can in the next week. So I will be making it a priority to get out for that 20-mile run next Sunday and having a good week to build that momentum going into Valencia. So with just about 8 weeks to go now, I feel like I've not really done the training that I've wanted to in the first 2 weeks, and it's going to have to ramp up from here. I'm not in a rush because there's still 8 weeks to go, but it really does need to start kick-starting in the next couple of weeks, ramping up to about 60, 70 miles and start hitting some quality sessions, because at the moment my long runs are just a steady long run. I've not put any quality into that, and my sessions are a little bit mixed as well. So it's not been the best of weeks, but I'm hoping to have a better update in week 3 of the Valencia Marathon block.